ChatGPT Ads is one of the biggest opportunities for businesses in the next decade, and they're coming in 2026. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through why ChatGPT Ads are inevitable, what they're going to look like, and how you can get ahead of the competition when they arrive. Now, getting straight into it, we're first going to cover why ChatGPT Ads are inevitable. Now, the growth of ChatGPT has been absolutely insane. They've gone all the way from 1 million users a week, all the way to most recently over 900 million active users a week. And Sam Altman actually predicts that by 2030, a third of the world's population will be using ChatGPT. So the growth has been insane, but that growth has come at a big cost. You'll see here that the first half of 2025, their revenue was 4.3 billion. However, they actually lost 7.8 billion. So they're absolutely bleeding cash despite that high number of users. And the reason being is over 95% of those users are actually on their free tier. So they're free users. It's costing ChatGPT money for every single one of those free users. So in order to close this revenue gap and to become profitable, OpenAI is inevitably going to turn towards advertising. You'll see that other platforms such as Google, Facebook, Instagram, etc., where there's a lot of free users, they turn for advertising as the monetization strategy because it absolutely prints cash. Relatively old data, but you'll see here how much money these platforms really make from search, YouTube, all these different platforms. And actually, most recently, Google is making over 220 billion a year from just advertising alone. So really, the only way that OpenAI is going to close this gap is through advertising. However, despite it being inevitable, it is really risky. You'll see here, the reason that you and I, we turn to ChatGPT for our answers and solutions is because the results really are good. If you compare these results, one where I'm looking for the best holiday destination, two, I've just started jiu-jitsu and I need a gi. If you compare these results to what you get on Google, the ChatGPT response is just better. There's not loads of ads being thrown in our face, and we can quickly get to what we actually want to find, an answer or a product, much faster than we will with Google without having to click through 10 blue links. And therefore, if ads are suddenly thrown into the mix, this could make many people question whether these results are actually the best or whether we're just being thrown the business that is paying the most in our face. And you'll see all across the internet, people are really feeling the same, saying that they would leave ChatGPT if advertising was brought in. But despite it being risky, they're going to do it anyway. And there's some pretty clear signals showing that they're going to do it anyway. For example, here you'll see that in ChatGPT's Android app, the beta recently included references to ads features, search ads, search carousel ads. And OpenAI actually recently hired Fiji Simo, who was previously one of the leads in rolling out monetization of the Facebook app, such as launching new ad products such as video ads, lead ads, instant experiences, and carousel ads. So it's no surprise that search ads carousel is being featured in the new ChatGPT Android app. So all the signals are there, the maths make sense, and they're putting everything in place in order to roll out ads later in 2026, which is probably making you thinking, well, this is all great, they're coming, it's a big opportunity, but what actually are they going to look like? Now, in my opinion, the most probable way that ChatGPT ads are going to look like is shopping ads. ChatGPT's already released ChatGPT Shopping, where products are featured, and it makes the most sense just, for the first couple of these to be sponsored. They can just add a little badge here, or the first in the list here to be a sponsored result. And I think that makes sense because when we go to Google, we inherently, we see those sponsored shopping results all the time. So it's probably the one that feels the most natural and is less likely to break trust. However, an alternative way that they could do it is there's actually ChatGPT apps where they partner with platforms like Booking.com, Figma, etc., for ChatGPT to be able to do things and use these platforms. And if you actually look at Fiji's role, she's CEO of applications at OpenAI. So the alternative is that there's some sort of advertising either through promoting these apps, or imagine if Booking.com is able to offer its hotels advertising in ChatGPT via the app connection that they have. That could work extremely well, and it could be a controlled way for ChatGPT to roll it out without having to impact and change the search results we all know and love. Now, we don't have to look far to see an example of what this could actually look like. Perplexity actually rolled out ads in their results around 18 months ago. They did this in the form of the follow-up prompts or related prompts. You can see here's a sponsored result. However, they actually moved away from it fairly soon into rolling it out because they were unable to provide measurable monetization results for the advertisers. So it is going to be a hard problem to crack. It's not something OpenAI is going to do overnight, which is why you're seeing this interview. Sam Altman is thinking about this really carefully. Now, the thing that I really want you to understand about the opportunity with ChatGPT ads is the difference between ChatGPT, Meta, and Google. And actually, if you want to learn more about this, I am actually creating a tool that's going to allow it easier for you to run ChatGPT ads. And if you sign up to the waiting list in the first description in the below, you'll also get access to our newsletter, which is where you're going to be the first to find out when ChatGPT gets released, as well as get access to all the latest tips to beat the competition. But in terms of why ChatGPT ads is going to be so powerful, if we think about it, Meta was all about paying for attention. You create an ad and you're aiming to interrupt the user in order to get interest and push them to whatever you're selling. Google ads, on the other hand, you're essentially paying per click. You're paying someone who's searching for something and you're paying to capture their demand for whatever you're clicking. ChatGPT is sort of a mix of both of these. Not only does it have insane targeting that you've come to expect with Meta, but it also has the intent similar to Google ads. And on top of that, social media is optional. You know, we move between different social media platforms all the time. However, Google is part of our daily workflow. It's part of when we go to work, we use it in our personal life. And it's the same with ChatGPT. You'll see that ChatGPT is the most common AI tool that people use at work. And we also use it in our personal life. Search and AI are daily habits. And when you combine that insane targeting as well as the intent, that is what's going to make OpenAI absolutely print. Especially because at the beginning, the demand on ChatGPT is far going to outweigh the supply on advertising, which means if you get in early, you're going to get insanely high conversion rates because people trust the results and extremely low cost. And you'll see this Reddit user sums it up pretty well is what will be fun is when you think it's impartial, but it's actually sponsored results. That's what prints the most for advertising companies. And if ChatGPT really nails integrating ads into the answer, in a way that feels authentic and still feels like it's giving us the best answer, that is where you as an advertiser or a marketing agency advertising for businesses are going to make a ton of cash. Now, maybe sitting there thinking, well, this is all great, Henry, but ChatGPT ads aren't even there yet. So what do we actually do? Now, what I recommend you do in the meantime is making sure that you focus on ranking organically in these AI search engines. Whether that be AI overview, AI mode, you can see that I've done it several times here for one of my clients that I've worked with before, and even ranking myself in ChatGPT. So I would focus on organic first, start to control the narrative when it comes to organic search results in AI search engines. I've got a couple of other videos on my YouTube channel if you want to check those out. I'll add those in the description to essentially make sure that when advertising comes, you get two swings at the bat. So you're ranking in there organically and also in the paid search results, which is something that I recommend because you want to make sure that you own as much of the answer as possible. And by focusing on organic right now means that when ChatGPT ads come, you're already ahead of the competition. Now, if you do want to get further ahead of the competition, as I've already mentioned, I am working on a product that's going to make ChatGPT ads easier, especially if you want to run ads across all the other AI models. I'm going to be sharing the best practices. So if you have found this video helpful, please head to the first link in the description to sign up to that waiting list and also subscribe to this channel where I'll be sharing more tips on how to run ChatGPT and AI ads more effectively. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.